Hello all, welcome back. It's Beltane tomorrow, 1st of May, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about it, if you're interested. Beltane is a fire festival, and it comes from the Celtic god Bel, which means bright fire. The marking is the marking of the threshold between spring and summer. It is a fire festival, obviously, and also fertility, passion, growth, blossoms, vitality, and new beginnings. And the goddess is in her maiden aspect to mother. Also, sort of old customs and traditions, folklores. The customs were at this time to dress cattle with flowers, and they would drive them between big bonfires on hilltops, and people welcomed in the lush half of the year. And the other reason why they would march the cattle through is because of the smoke that will kill the bugs and whatever they've got on their skin. So anyway, it was like a cleansing, really. So a little bit more about folklore. Beltane Eve was often considered a powerful fairy night. The Aesai in Irish lore, or fairy folk more broadly, were believed to travel at this time, bless, steal, charm, or confuse, depending on how humans respectively behaved. People might leave out offerings of milk or bread to avoid, and also avoid offending thorn trees. They would also keep their babies safe and livestock protected. Stay cautious at crossroads and hollow hills and wells. The old warning on Beltane was mind your manners with the unseen. Now also on May the 1st was the dew of beauty and blessing. May morning dew was treasured. Washing the face in the dawn dew on Beltane or May Day was said to bring beauty, luck, youthfulness and vitality. A botanical luxury treatment from the sky. Can you hear that? I just had a plane going over now. I'll never have planes coming over, never mind. Sorry about that. Witches would visit sacred sites such as wells, circles, groves, and leave offerings to the fairies. Hawthorn and the Maybush. Branches of hawthorn and flowery boughs were brought to homes or decorated outside as signs of luck and fertility. But hawthorn also carried fairy associations, so lone thorn trees were often treated with reverence and caution. A branch in the doorway equaled welcoming blessing, and a lone tree disturbed invited trouble. Also at this time of year was a lover's time, and hand fasting was often done. Because Beltane celebrates fertility and union, it became linked in folklore with courtship, temporary or trial unions, hand fasting, ceremonies and marriages blessed by summer's arrival. The season had a reputation for hearts becoming less practical. To leap the fire or the flame at Beltane was to bring the flame inside yourself, bringing new life into the world. In some Scottish and Irish tales, Beltane was also a time of anxiety around milk theft magic. Witches or ill-wishers were said to steal the luck of productivity of their neighbours, like their cows, through charms. Protective rites, rowan branches and fire customs were used to guard against this. This shows that Beltane had both joy and edge. Abundance attracts envy. Also, in Wales, May customs include garlanding summer, welcoming and regional traditions tied to Ceylan Mai or May Day, or Calamai, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. The night before May Day was considered potent. People might play tricks, move gates, swap items, or create harmless chaos. Bringing in the May, young people would gather greenery and branches and decorate homes and doorways. This welcomes summer and prosperity. Symbols like hawthorn blossoms, birch, fresh greenery, ribbons and garlands decorated at doorways, said to let abundance enter here. Some stories tell of hearing your name called at dusk or night on turning festivals. The wise response was, do not answer too quickly. Many cultures share this warning. It teaches caution with strange calls, especially in the darkness. Sacred wells in Wales often have reputations for healing or prophecy. On special nights, dreams, reflections, or water behaviour might be read as signs. A still surface can become a mirror for the mind. Right, so also I wanted to tell you a little bit more about folklore. Now, also on May Day, we have the English sort of tradition of the maypole. So this tradition still continues into some parts of the UK. A young birch tree which was cut and decorated with ribbons and flowers. And women folk, well, sometimes children, would hold the ribbons, each to dance in and out of it, weaving and twisting the ribbon around the maypole as they went. The ribbons and weaving dance represented union, interconnection, and life cycles binding together. A symbol of life, waking up and trying itself into motion again after winter. Sorry, turning itself. Oh goodness. Okay, well, let's continue. Also, community unity, interweaving of relationships, balance of light, dark, masculine and feminine, and earth and sky. The pole is the world axis. The ribbons are fate, season, or life's threads. Also, I'll tell you about this time is a person called Jack in Green. Right, a figure from English May Day or Beltane. A man was disguised in green. He was a consort to the May Queen. He was the hidden one, draped in greenery, ivy, hawthorn, and he sometimes was accompanied by dancers and musicians, usually Morris men, which I will tell you about a bit later. Jack symbolised the spirit of nature and vegetation, summer's arrival and fertility of the land, the awakening of growth after winter, a wild man of the woods, energy in human form, seen in art form as the green man, half human, half forest, walking the boundaries between civilization and untamed lands. So now we'll go on to about Morris dancers. Traditional English folk dancing to sort of rhythmic stepping or leaping. It's me trying to pronounce my words again. It was like a choreographed pattern. So these men would wear bells on their legs, holding handkerchiefs or sticks. Also, sometimes their faces were painted, sometimes black. I've actually seen Morris dancers dancing, and some of them look quite scary, to be fair. Especially the ones that have got their sort of face painted black with a hat on and crow's feathers in the hats and stuff like that. Anyway, they paint their faces, wear hats and feathers, and these dancers were strongly tied to May Day villages' celebrations. Morris dancers are seen as waking the earth through movement and rhythm. They were often seen with Jack dancing to drums and bells and pipes. So that's a little bit about the folklore. Also, I wanted to tell you a little bit about, if you wanted to, obviously I was saying about the dew on May morning. Sometimes you don't always get that, but what you could do is make water flower at this time. So all you need to do is have a bowl of water, have some flower petals, roses, whatever calls to you. Just put them in the water. Leave the bowl out at night with the flowers under the moonlight. And in the morning, use it to wash your face or dab on your wrists or put it in a little bottle and save it for later to anoint your space. But please be mindful, some plants can give allergic reactions. Also, I wanted to tell you about, on this one, about the moon. The May the 1st, you will see in the night sky a beautiful flower full moon. The flower moon will turn officially full at 12:23 p.m. It arrives like Earth, exhaling colour after a long grey winter. It's less about a single plant called the flower moon. It's rather more like nature's throwing open every window at once, letting blossoms tumble out in all directions. The name comes from the Algonquin people, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, and other indigenous North American traditions. By May, flowers were everywhere then, so the name is delightfully literal. Other cultures, though, gave this moon different titles, such as milk moon, hare moon, corn planting moon, and spells on this moon for growth, attraction, bringing something into full bloom. Works well with Beltane's energy, where fire and fertility meet. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of information, and I'll be adding a few more bits on. Thank you anyway. Bye for now.